Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for some more Cobx Masters Ahmedabad. This is where we're at right now. Unfortunately, only with one semi-finals today, since one of the teams have pulled out, which means Reckoning Esports get a free pass to the finals, and we only have Team Trash, as they're known as in the bracket. But Trash Talkers is a little bit of a different vibe here. It's a tag-in game versus Team D9.
Remaining.
A bunch of ancients here, as far as I could tell. Maybe one divine or two spread in, or sprinkled in, if you will. So should be a decent enough match, I'm hoping. My name is Dragon Drop. I'm joined by Potom. How are you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Chuckling a little bit by some ancients with some divine sprinkle, and that sounds like a good donut to me. But yeah, I don't know. we haven't seen both any of these teams. A little bit sad after the first series, actually not getting played. But sometimes it's just not meant to be. We're gonna have another one tomorrow. So far, no picks yet in this draft. Team 9 going out with the Lycanthrope, with the Doom and the Skyrev ban. And on the side of Trash, do we call them Trash or Trash Talkers? Or TT?
Whatever you prefer. I think Trash would be funny.
We could call them an Aiden.
As well. A what?
We could call them an Aiden.
An Aiden. I get it.
It's very funny.
You, so.
Yeah, that's above my usual standard.
Maybe an extra bit of sleep did you some good. The jokes aren't as terrible.
But yeah, they banned the Night Stalker, Death Prophet, and the Omni Knight. So I really like the Death Prophet ban. One of these boring heroes. I'm talking about boring heroes. Beastmaster comes out. Well, more boring to play than to watch, that is.
Yeah, so far this could be pretty much any draft in the current patch. Like Warlock, extremely powerful. Beastmaster, same story here, and wouldn't be too surprised to see that paired up with a Windrunner now.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Windrunner, Jakiro in there. What else could we? What would be that pick we would expect in the first phase? Probably Lina Leshrac up in there. Oh look, it's Jakiro. What a surprise!
Yeah, Leshrac would be up there. Lina is mostly 5th pick from what I've seen. Other ones like thought 5 positions are concerned. Which Doctor would also come to mind?
Did fell out of favor though. Not that good anymore against heroes like the Warlock, where your ultimate instantly gets cancelled by him. So.
Oh yeah.
Which Doctor actually he fell out in popularity by a mile, that is. But yeah, show me the Windrunner. Sun King would be up there as well.
Oh yeah. Well, like ideally something that can put pressure on your offlane. That's what it really comes down to. As we've been talking about in pretty much every single game here. If you've watched the past TI qualifiers, you can see that pattern as well. See these aggressive moves to the other side of the map, trying to put on pressure on the safe lane, make sure that they don't get farm while your own survives. And just a little bit better. And then, of course, mid matchup being a little bit more skill-based.
That's new.
More impactful on the back of that.
That's new, but I like it. That's a good anti-Beastmaster pick.
Oh yeah.
That's extremely defensive on the second pick. Together with the Warlock, this is a lot of sustain in lane. I feel like if you run Abaddon and Warlock in your offlane, that should be able to just like stay there forever, right?
It should, but I'm not sure if you even have to. Like you can pair up a bunch of other heroes with the Abba as well, and you'll be fine enough because Shakiro is absolutely useless against him. Because the moment he presses Breathe Dual Breath, Abaddon says, "Hey, I've got this neat little spell here called the Photic Shield." And I take literally no damage because I purge off that dot effect.
Yeah, but I mean, he kind of sounds like literally any hero. Just like, I don't take damage, no thank you. He just doesn't believe in the social construct of damage, dude.
Some heroes can still overpower him in the early levels. But
yeah, Monkey, for example, but wisely banned out by D9. Wonder if they want to go towards the DK on the side of Trash, considering they did ban out the OD. There's a ban on the DP in the first phase.
Yeah.
And even heroes like Omni Knight who can get a little bit dangerous against them are banned. Would be... I think it's setting up for a DK mid. But You talked about Leshrac Lina usually on the 5th pick. I
5
tend to
seconds
disagree
remaining.
because looking at China, for example, it's like always first or second pick, where you just go like first pick Leshrac instead of like the Warlock, and then go like Warlock on the 3rd slot, for example, and then they just use him as the ultimate flex pick in the end.
Dire team
I
pick.
wasn't talking about Leshrac. I said Leshrac can be seen in the early. I was specifically talking about Lina.
Ah, okay. Well, I have seen Lina first pick as well, or just the duo draft from China. Leshrac Lina, first and second pick. Good luck.
China's a little bit different for sure.
Looking at you, Super.
I haven't seen a lot of China games recently, so there's certainly still some differences between the
10
regions, which
seconds
is
remaining.
also a great thing about Dota.
We have seen it here in the
Going
Cobx
forward.
Masters as well.
5 seconds remaining.
Between the regions, that we had absolute different metas. I remember like 5 days ago, or 2 regions ago, you could say, that we had like completely out of the meta draft where we were absolutely clueless in the draft because it was just random heroes, and it worked out in the end for both teams.
Yeah. Dota is this more between heaven and earth, as far as Dota's concerned, that are dreamt of in our philosophies and in our metas. Even though, again, so far this is nothing that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's a little bit fancy, not too fancy.
Right, so the question now becomes, what do the trash talkers want to do next? Like, you're still looking for a core, another 4-position offlane
Radiant
support,
team
ideally.
pick.
Oh look,
For now,
it is a Dragon Knight. Huh? What a surprise. Yeah, that's no push for them. Like, they have 3 strong heroes. They checked all the boxes yet.
Yeah.
So what you want to do in like the first 3 picks of your draft, pretty much always is, you want to have at least 1 lane you're comfortable on. You want to have 1 stun that pierces spell immunity. You want to have 1 additional stun as well as a slow. They pretty much check all the boxes in that. They have some sort of deep push chimed in with the Jakira as well. But right now I don't see them on the back foot. Like I just see them hitting towers as soon as they hit like level 4.
Yeah. Team D9, like there's already some good tools available themselves, but they still need to round out properly with some solid damage follow up as well as
Deep push.
Yeah, deep push and push. Like right now, you have a lot of sustain with the Abba and the Warlock, and also just this really good team fight if the Warlock has its ultimate available. Plus the Fatal Bonds, which are just freaking unbalanced almost, in my opinion. Extremely powerful in the right situations.
Yeah, and Fatal Bonds is strong, but I see all the pros always complaining about the Shadow Word more on lane because it has no drawback as a support ability. It's a heal, it's an aggressive nuke. You can never trade with Warlock. It seems like Windrun.
Yeah. Basically, it makes it so that you don't have to carry as much
Dire
region.
team pick.
Yeah, this is perfect. I mean, when it comes to Fatal Bonds, I always like to go back to that because you get the most out of it if you have some solid AoE, and it's basically what Zeus is in a nutshell, just with the passive that he brings to the table, and of course, Arc Lightning, some nice little hefty nukes, the ultimate, everything like is
10 seconds remaining.
pretty good, especially against
Radiant
also tanky
team
heroes
pick.
like the Dragon Knight. Certainly enough to just basically just ignore the armor. But Clockwork, pretty good counter to it.
And Clockwork is fine. I don't see a Sanins particular on the sort of charge yet. Would like to see one in like the last phase, but wonder this looks like a position for Clockwork to me, so they're only missing out on their carry.
Yeah.
There's not many carries with a Sanins left, unless they want to go for a dry strat, but hey, at least there's a ranged on these teams,
5
so
seconds remaining.
I still get PTSD from let's pick Drow and we only have melees. It felt like a pop game.
Oh god.
Come on,
Well, at least in
it's
this
just something
game-
you don't do.
At least in this game, you have the Dragon Knight, which is like when
And
it
Jakira.
matters. Jakira doesn't right click. Come on, man, you know that as well as I do.
But the attack range talent.
Anyway, the Dragon Knights. When it matters, he should have his dragon form when you want to fight, and then he can take advantage of the Drow aura. But I still don't think that's going to be a Drow game.
Bloodseeker Zeus.
It's yeah. Huh.
Interesting.
This is just adding more BS on top of the things, right?
Yeah. Ha, I get it.
I was hoping you would.
Very good. You're learning.
10 seconds remaining.
I wasn't aware of myself when I said it, only subconsciously, but yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Zeus Bloodseeker, it's a very nasty combo for many different reasons.
Yeah, it was so disgusting that they actually nerfed it. So if your damage instance is over 2,000 units away while you're blood raged, the damage or the bonus from the blood rage actually gets halved.
Yeah, which is good. So
Okay.
you can't just instantly kill somebody across the map.
Yeah, it was stupid.
But it still is very much fully effective if Zeus is sitting next to a team fight and just keeps pressing spells, which is exactly what they want to do. So it's going to be down to Trash Talkers to immediately close the gap. Either the Beastmaster running in with a Blink or Shadow Blade and drawing up the Zeus, or the Clockwork just finding these hooks.
What's their carry choice here? They need something that just goes to Bloodseeker or ignores the Rupture completely.
Remaining.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Something with stable region. No, I don't see the Luna here.
Team pick.
I
Well,
saw it,
yeah,
and they banned it too. They like the good thing about Luna is you have a decent timing where the Bloodseeker really can't do much against you, because the moment Bloodseeker ruptures you and walks in, you just walk a little bit away from the creep path and you press your ultimate, and either you kill him or you at least chase him away. So trade ulti for ulti.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
then comes down to item timing. So if the Bloodseeker gets a Blade Mail quickly
5
versus when the Luna
seconds
gets a
remaining.
BKB. But D9 don't want to give them that opportunity.
all right. Hear me out. I know you're not gonna like it,
Royal
but
team pick.
yeah, that was what you say. So Spectre would be a choice for them. A little bit late game focused, but yeah, they're going full Fatal Bonds mode here.
Oh yeah.
Regarding that, I think looking at Trash Talkers, what about a Husker? Just makes super early pressure. It's really good against the Baron because you just keep harassing him in the lane. It can trade against the Warlock. It's pretty good
10
against the Zeus. You have to magic defense. You can go up against the Spectre going late.
5
And
seconds
Bloodseeker, well, if you get ruptured, you don't really care because you most of the time have enough heal and you don't care about the silence.
I can see that, yeah. The only thing that would be dangerous for him is if they have 4 staffs, and Zeus will definitely want to build one at the very least, so you can like do the rupture into 4-staff play to push him over the edge.
I can't see that, but it's not that much damage on the Husker. I would really like Husker here.
It is pure damage, so
Oh,
like
Now select your heroes.
Morphling instead. Huh.
okay, good enough. That's a good Bloodseeker counter. Look at me, I'm the Bloodseeker now. It is pretty
Is
good.
it though?
Morph is really good in against Bloodseeker. Not sure about the Spectre because Spectre tends to just run over him. Just by dealing more damage, just having consistent damage with the Radiance. But hey, you have really good morph targets here. Abaddon is one of them. Warlock is good to have as well. Your own Fatal Bonds, and
Yeah.
well, looking at your own Fatal Bonds, you have heroes like Dragon Knight and Jakiro that do a lot of damage in the fight.
You can just straight up turn into Zeus and be zappy yourself.
Yeah.
So if
Go zap yourself.
I'm not too convinced about his defense when he's like more or less left alone, or when he's caught out or something. But or even when he's falling behind too much. But offensively, if they have some space for him to work in the middle of these team fights, then yeah, I can certainly see that having quite the impact. Well, game number 1 of this best of 3 series. Warlock Spectre, one of the stronger lanes to say the least here in this day and age. And also because the Warlock basically ensures that the Spectre doesn't have to leave the lane early on, so you can just stick it out, get what you need, and then transition into the late game. Then you have the Zeus Bloodseeker on top of the Fatal Bonds and Abba just to round it out. So this is a very nasty lineup that's relatively easy to execute, I would say.
Yeah, not the easiest, but it's up there. Yeah, I can see it. It is fairly simple. You don't have many buttons to press.
On the other side, though, like on one hand, you have views like Dragon Knight Beastmaster, fairly straightforward. On the other hand, you also have a Clockwork who needs to land some hooks before 4-stars can come out. You need to have a Morphling that knows what he's doing.
Hold on, Mr. Tichondrus has a good point here. How are they laning this on D9? Like, I see Bloodseeker with 2 shared tangos, but he also started with a Quelling Blade. Please don't tell me he's really going to jungle.
No. I would not imagine that, but looking at the Zeus... Bloodseeker's going mid and Zeus is support. I would imagine here. I mean, there's...
I could see just the...
2 sets of tangos, offlane Abba, safe lane support Warlock. Yeah, this is a 4-position Zeus. He's just gonna do his thing up top, pressing his buttons.
I think he's going to be the farming hero at the offlane to put the Abaddon on the 4. I think they really only need Abaddon here for the shield. They want to get the Spectre big, and Zeus is needed with some damage.
How he's playing the Zeus picking up the smoke.
Oh yeah, now it's definitely the mid Bloodseeker. He picked up the magic wand. The magic stick. Did not see that one. A bit awkward against the Dragon Knight, but hey, Bloodseeker can stay in the mid lane against Dragon.
Absolutely.
Might even want to choose to put the Morphling in mid, and if they see this, or if they suggest if they predict this, that is, just to have like the Morph in mid that doesn't take any damage from the blood, outranges them.
If you look at
just
Morphin,
Dragon
though,
Knight
he
on
wants to
safe
go
lane.
up. Look, he has 2 Iron Branches and Magic Wand recipes. He wants to finish up the full wand ASAP, which says to me that they're expecting this Zeus to be in his lane. So Dragon Knight, like, this is a 1v1 matchup, it should be fine for him as much as for the Bloodseeker. On the basis of the, like, both heroes can sustain themselves, Bloodseeker with last hits, and Dragon Knight just naturally with the passive. One thing that I'm a bit more worried about is this bottom lane, because Warlock Spectre, despite that sustainability, he's still up against the Beastmaster and start stacking up the Wild Axes, and also Clockwork, who, once it's level 2, like, you cannot necessarily focus on the Spectre, but if you find the Warlock here off to the side somewhere, like if the Warlock's too aggressive, and sitting here in this area behind the tree line north of the tower, and Clockwork catches him out with the Cogs, with Battery Assault, some axes thrown in from the Beastmaster, like, this could be damage that's quick enough for the heal not to be all that effective, because it's just slow, way too slow. So.
You could have stopped out there's a Beastmaster, and everybody would have understood the point that, yeah, they're not going to absolutely win this lane, because Beastmaster is a thing. And I agree, this is a powerful duo lane. Like, do melee lane against the Spectre. Spectre is one of the worst heroes early on, if it comes to lasting and contesting last hitting, that is. The only thing that works for you, or like, remember those old days where you just maxed the Desolate, because you were effectively in a one-on-one scenario, and you could force them out. But, it is... I think this is a really strong lane for Trash. Trash will probably dominate the bottom lane. They will have to rotate the Abaddon towards the bottom lane. That's what I would assume, or the Zeus does it, but... If you rotate the Zeus, then what is the Zeus going to do against the Beastmaster? And
I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's the plan for them. Like, you're not gonna win a lane with the Spectre. Period. You expect that at this point. So what you do is you don't die. Oh, that shield was a little bit too early here. Dual Wrestle connected onto the Abba. There's a bit of a tussle up top, but a lot of damage already been done because of that lightning bolt. Now Warlock actually also sticking around for just a few moments up top. But he'll certainly needed this to make sure that the Spectre isn't zoned out. So all you need to do, stick around the lane, get what last hits you can, get the experience that you can. And then take advantage of the space the rest of your team creates going into the mid game to farm up the jungle, farm whatever lanes you can, and then still find your items.
Yeah, we rarely see any. Yeah, this is the Spectre sacrifice lane so far, at least until the Warlock TP's bottom. There it is. So he's gonna have mediocre farm, I would predict. Nothing too big, nothing too small. Ooh, mid lane is looking really good for Arthur though. Extremely good block against the Dragon Knight early on. We'll take a little bit of damage here, but he's gonna completely outlast us this Dragon Knight, I assume. Shit.
We should be doing alright. And I mean, that's not the Glowing Blade to offset that Break Fire damage reduction. Of course, the Blood Rage also helping out tremendously. Still needs one last hit on the tower, so feels bad, man.
Yeah, that happens when you pull away from the tower, you know.
Yeah, this should be farming lane for both heroes for a long while.
First by the bottom.
Yeah.
Morphling here. We rotated, by the way. Wow, that's just mean. You already win the lane and then you're like, you know, we're gonna put a Morphling against your Spectre as well.
Yeah. It is something that I did not expect. Like, they would have been doing just fine with the Beastmaster down here, but they're thinking, hey, we can do even better. Putting this tri-lane here is that what it amounts to at this moment.
I think it's an excellent choice.
They have. Yeah, it is.
It's a little bit more preferential for the Abaddon. He gets the better lane out of this, and if you're a little bit more selfish, you say like Spectre, oh, I'm so sorry for your lane, Spectre, but at least I'm farming now. Like the Spectre lane is hard no matter what, right? Like might as well just eat the tri versus tri lane scenario, and just give your Abaddon a little bit of space. Both Abaddon and Beastmaster will have fun.
Yeah. Oh. It's very odd, try on try. There's on one hand you have Jakiro, who is level 2 now, so
yeah,
also
but
plenty of mangoes to work with. On the other hand, you have a Zeus, who's basically automatic.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say it's not a Trundle that favors them in any way. I would say because Zeus is, yeah, you can do one thing. You use Arc Lightning, you use Lightning Bolt, you do some light damage, and yeah, then they regen up, and there's nothing you can do. There's already a full magic wand on the Morphling. There is a magic stick on the Jakiro, so whenever you use a spell, it works at your disadvantage. So Disease is more like running back and forth. He's basically the guy that pulls, but hey, it's blocked, so you can't even pull.
Yeah,
gets the water. At least something.
Look at that, this Morphling too. Has the ability shift just clicked on.
Never go full agility.
6 health points. That's what he's at right now. But,
yeah, look at that harassment. 2 hits.
That 2.6 region though. It's so efficient.
What is this? Is this Neek's Assassin? It looks like a Neek's Assassin now with that region.
Oh well. Relative region compared to health pools, always a nice concept to wrap your head around. But yeah. Well, they're still trying to get what
even
they can.
the pool.
Secure plump from Spectre, but it's that they're taking things away from these other lanes.
Dire offlane pool, that should not happen. The support should be there just to contest this. It's really looking bad for them. I feel like this morph is like while they're up and even, he's still so at the advantage. Meanwhile, the other lanes are going fairly even. But y'all, Abaddon against Beast must be pretty good. Both gonna get farm, and mid lane is DK against Bloodseeker.
Backward coming in, but him showing bottom. Him showing mid the bottom. They went on the Zeus, and now going for the Spectre with a waveform forward. Haunter, he needs to start more from the strength. Didn't do it in time, so he does actually get killed in return. Not exactly ideal.
Well, he got the kill on the Spectre. He effectively got a double kill, and they got the kill first as well. So yes, he died in the end, but I think it's fine. And yeah, Shakira just like, I'm gonna go. No thanks.
Let's also have to consider what happens next, because kills early on, they don't really mean all that much. If it also means that you're missing out on losses afterwards, but both of them were able to TP back, so in that sense, yeah. There's no factors that turn things around a little bit for Spectre just yet. Despite that though, for now, he has been keeping up as well as you would expect. From the third last department anyway.
Yeah. I just see this Bloodseeker hitting level 6 and then constantly ganking the bottom lane. I think this is what they have to do. He's already ahead in levels by almost 2/4 of a level. He's doing pretty good. Like he has his boots up, he has a magic wand, he has some money saved up, so he's gonna have power treads. The moment you have the treads at 5-minute mark and you hit the level 6, that's really powerful timing. Talking about.
We'll tussle down bottom. Waveform. Zeus dies first again as they secure the rune. Still fighting here. Nuts finds the kill. There's Warlock has to run away, pop himself a salve. Zeus
Warlock?
the other way. And he'll still die here with another waveform and drag like
Questionable.
only a couple of extra kills and now just turning onto Takanris. This Zeus not really comfortable in this kind of position. He wants to be the aggressor, not the defender. Mid though. Can he do something here? Clockwork is there, but also the Warlock. Curious. Not really happening. Not really anything happening there. It's down bottom. Without the Warlock there, I mean, it's gonna get even worse.
Did get a stick in the end, so at least the Spectre didn't die, but I don't know, this lane is an absolute disaster for them. It's not gonna get any better. Spectre, you have some early game farm, and this is just the end of the line. This is where you just have to dodge into the jungle, because the moment you go up to last, you just get harassed.
Mid. Got pretty low, but no way for them to nuke him down.
Yeah, and here's the Warlock behind.
The Invis rune.
Yeah, there's a sentry here. He's gonna walk through it. But no mana, they see him though. Ah, he did show up. Doesn't care though. Zeus here.
Takes some damage, but
nice
had to
buff.
play from him, just not breaking in this, so still has a bit of protection left. Going out of the sentry range. So now he'll be fine, also salving up, making sure the Bloodseeker can't just run him down on the back of his extra movement speed. So this mid lane still yeah, I don't know, I don't want to say even just because Bloodseeker is just pulling more and more ahead in terms of CS. But,
Yeah, Bloodseeker is pulling ahead. Bottom lane is not it's not going good. Ooh, Ice Path Council on the TP on the Zeus. It's a freebie.
There we go. And another one. This is what I said couldn't happen. Like, you have to play way more defensively. You have to stand behind the Spectre or at the tower.
Yeah, this is just.
Yeah, this is not a place where you can stand.
Yeah, like you pretty much. This is your box. You leave the box, you die.
Alright, so that leaves us with the top lane that we've talked about in a while because it's been more or less of a farming lane. Abba also doing quite well. So this is something that the Radiant can or will have to try and fall back on. Both of these heroes in both mid and top doing well. And they'll have to buy the space for a Spectre. Question is, can you do that up against the Morphling who's getting what he wants?
I think the hero that can do that. I think the hero that comes close would be Alpha on the Bloodseeker. He has the shot at just making space, and like that's his job, right? That's why you pick a Bloodseeker. You want somebody that makes space on the map. He has a good amount of farm. Akilo will finish up for him soon. He has the power treads up and running, full magic bond. He's fine. Even though it gets a lot of damage by the Dragon Knight, so watch out here a little bit, but.
Then Takanris looking to help out Sam, but there was a path through the trees. That's one. It's gonna get some extra help now from Carl, but they find the roar on the Zeus. DD Rune's still going. Very easy kill. Sam,
Only one.
That's the ultimate bot. I don't know if you want to take this fight here now, Sam. You're gonna die.
Yeah, that's also.
It's
Call it a mistake.
Down bottom though, Hunter. Okay, he's starting more strength. Maxed out now, so it's pretty damn fast. He still needs to try and retain some damage up against the Warlock, and he does do enough. Not teaching out in the end. There's nothing left to give.
Yeah, he's playing excellent on the Morph, and he's the difference if you take a look at the 2K lead they have. It's 2 to 11 kills, and that's all on the Morph. Like he has the advantage of everyone. The Zeus miserably failed, sitting on 600 net worth at this point. It is only 9 minutes in, and he is effectively position 5, but still, you're not reaching any levels. He just hit level 4. He has brown boots, and that's it.
Yeah. It kind of comes back to them not keeping these dual lanes intact and instead of trying to go for these tri lanes with heroes that aren't really equipped for it. Also, these rotations towards mid here giving an opening for Trash Hawkers to just get these quick kills. Like, they've been moving quite efficiently in that sense as well. Like you see an opportunity to go with like one hero not being able to be there on the other tri lane,
Dire's
and
middle tower is under
just go for the
attack.
kills.
Great, but and they're giving away so much control. They have Bloodseeker and they just lost 4 runes to without a reason. They could have at least like contested like on one of them. If they just moved the Bloodseeker really fast to bottom, instead he's farming up in the jungle. This is not what he's supposed to do. Like, you should give the space to the Spectre and just make sure that he does something on the map.
So far, they're not doing that. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you still have a Spectre lineup. If the game goes late, you can certainly fight it, but getting there, that's the tough part. And if you give this much space to Morphling, he's the type of hero that can just take over a game entirely.
Yeah. This is... It's not only the Morph. They have so much pushing power, they're gonna start pressuring the towers and actually going on the Bloodseeker mid.
That's the Spectre, Rupture coming out on the Burning Lead, and still to walk on this tower, and he's super tanky. He'll be absolutely fine with this. Silenced up, Clockwork, keeping in level 4s, no hookshot counter initiation, just being there to be scary and say, hey, stay away from my dragon. And now speaking of the dragon, there's another stun of the Bloodseeker's Blood Rage up too, a couple of right clicks. Needs to find Lars to sustain himself, but he can only just still alive with the extra help from that Abba. But he still dies some damage over time, and now the extra dragon coming in, the follow-up stun onto the Zeus. They're all slowed down, but it doesn't matter, they're ranged. Their prey is not moving away from them until just now. Oh no, mistake after mistake, and now Spectre comes in. I don't think you really want to. Raw is still available, and Burning Legion on this Dragonitis. Oh god, that's also Morphling.
He is Morphling.
He wants to be part of the party and says, hey, I have some damage too, and well, Warlock served himself dead.
I like it when you say there's an extra dragon coming in. When Jakira just runs into the fight.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Yeah, Rupture on the Morph. Guess what? He's literally just gonna TP to the top lane to farm and not move.
Good. It's not moving now though. There we go.
6k gold lead. They already locked down 2 tires in the last 20 seconds. Now they're going for the third one at top, which is for health, but that's gonna change soon, especially with an Arcane Rune on the Beastmaster and whatnot. There's a full medallion up on him. He's going for the Nectar Book next. You have not a max liquid fire. He did get something with a dual breath, but yeah, Zeus ult, I guess. Yep. That was pretty much all his impact for the next 1.5 minutes. That is.
I'm just really feeling these lanes now.
Yeah, they haven't lost all lanes, but they were on a draw on 2 lanes. Lost one. Bloodseeker was doing good. Going on Morphling once more top, but hey, wave on, he's fine.
This is not the target that you can kill at this point. Like,
who can they kill?
Can kill Jakiro, can kill Clockwork.
Even Jakiro is a hard killer, I would say.
They're going on DK and Morphling. The 2 heroes that you can't kill. The Spectre. Oh,
don't tell me he gets out of this one. Oh, sniped. Even with the medallion use.
Pretty good. Spectre, of course, can walk over these cogs with the Spectral Dagger.
Yeah. Cogs is basically not a spell you want to use against Spectre. Just restricts your own movement speed.
Yeah.
Only easy to bounce back.
Top tower is under attack.
It does force the Spectre to walk out, and you still get mana burn. So if he's slow enough already, it's gonna do it
again.
Situation. Okay, this time Haunter is still. They have nothing to actually cancel TP, Ice Path, just preventing the Warlock from committing that Golem, which he probably didn't really want in the first place. But yeah, they only get the hero. Haunter just TPs out. Way too much strength morph, and what have you really gained here?
Oh, well, you killed Jakiro, you made some pressure, you might get a T1 out of this, so I think it is the right play, or you can justify it. I feel like they could have cancelled the TP on the Morphling with the Kurtic offering easily enough and get like maybe an extra kill. Would have been a huge kill to get. but on the other hand, it was morphing strength, and he still had a good bunch of agility left.
Okay, still coming. Abba still has his ultimate back, so Shreem wants to find another target ideally. Get them linked up. Don't want a hook shot in. Could have turned into something more, but at the very least they do keep the tier 1 alive.
Not for long though.
One themselves.
Jumps Dragonite here. 20 regen per second. What do you do against this? He has a gigantic health pool. You still have defensive heroes sitting behind him. They will never even get to the Morph. And Morph, if he wants to, he has the Link itself and running in about 500 gold.
Can't stop, won't stop. Some extra damage over time here on this tier 2. Liquid Fires was the Dragon Form, and also Catapults with the Haunter in front here. Go for this hook shot off the mark, though, not Sam. Right up running in. Out the Dragon Form ultimate. Nice Golem here, but no Fatal Monsters to get here before the Zeus ultimate. Doesn't actually have the amount of auto cooldown for it. So not as much damage as it could. They're still finding Jakiro, but they'll lose. Yeah, they lose the Bloodseeker for it. We're done just yet. Sen continue to right click away. I feel Lily is strong here, but now with Haunter with a stun, but he just presses the ultimate. He really wants to get this kill on Beastmaster, and he does. A single, what's it called? Mist coil. It gives
Level 1
life
mist
force in the
coil.
end, one would think. With the extra stun, couple right clicks, no more ultimate.
That does favor them though. They got some good, really good pickoffs. Morphling didn't die, Dragonite didn't die, but the rest was absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
They committed everything, like, I guess the Zeus ult and the chaotic offering. But the Tower took a little bit of damage, which is justifiable still. They, most importantly, they got experience out of this, especially on the Abaddon. Like, he's now sitting level 12. He just got a big bump in terms of money, plus 800 for him in the fight alone. Meaning you can finish up this medallion on your own, and it's so crucial that you have that up against the Beastmaster, because it helps you. It helps so much with all this physical damage coming out, even against the Morphling. He's going to the Solar Crest next. It's going to reduce so much damage on their end, and there really is no fast magic damage here. There's no E-Blade underway in the Morph just yet, and yeah, I think they still have a chance coming back into this game, but these kind of fights, they so rely on Trash actually making a mistake when they approach those towers.
Yep. Scouting golds.
Alright, did read, yeah, there's one ping.
Yeah, the smoke, but they're still continuing. You have another hook shot to work with.
Wants to put some wards down in the jungle.
Yeah. This Abba, not the kind of hero that you want. Spectre though, a little more vulnerable. And also too far away. Instead they just group up as 4. Also might want to think about joining them soonish. So it turns into Bloodseeker, and in fact they do it the other way around. Burning Legion has the blink into the stun, and he intercepts him with a hookshot in the back, making sure there's no support whatsoever.
Yeah, there's that Bloodseeker morph coming in handy.
Just blood rages himself for more damage. Seems good.
That is actually a lot of damage from him. But could he even stop here? I think this is just about you run to T3 and try to grab it. Oh, well, yeah, I guess the T2 mid. Just as good. Not as exciting, but
yep.
Should work. They still have lots of Dragon Form to work with.
It's still the right
25
idea.
seconds.
Yeah, it's still the right idea, right? You have to keep the pressure up. You have a very strong Morphling, very strong Dragonite. There's no reason not to leverage that at this point in the game if you know that you're up against the Spectre, who's still farming somewhat, right? He's sitting 2.8k gold, only 1k away from that relic.
Radiant's middle tower is
And
under attack.
once that Radiance is online, the timer really starts. So, you go from objective to objective.
Fairly slow rush, but
Tier 2, but yeah.
good check out.
Definitely medallion is fast enough for their purposes.
Scouted out, a little bit low on the Beastmaster. Bloodseeker not chiming in, but
Oh, Spectre! Actually coming in, they
almost.
want to fight this. Zipping back and forth, trying to create confusion here. Nice little parks for the Radiant side here. Perfect setup for the Golem. Burning Legion sitting inside the fire and Rupture. Everything dropped on him. So he will drop Haunter. He has some work to do if he wants to salvage this, but he's all alone. He has some more strength, TP out, nothing left to cancel it. So then it will be successful, but absolute disastrous team fight. The Trash Talkers.
yeah, the
I
entire
expected to be able to make that work, but these cards really screwed them over.
yeah, they were so in panic when they have the Spectre. when the Spectre ult came in, and then Rupture, like Dragon Knight was just sitting. He was sitting on the chaotic offering with the Rupture on the half high ground, you could say. Just didn't move and didn't do anything. He did absolutely 0 damage to fight. Well, he did 161 according to the fight recap, but yeah, there was nothing they can do. And Clockwork really, I don't know, like Clockwork really won 1d9 the fight. 2,500 gold going their way.
Maybe right there's hope yet. Trash talkers. It's not unthrowable. I guess that's the best way to put it. They certainly still should have control of the game if they can leverage the right things. I mean, they still maintained hold on the Aegis. It's also quite important.
Catapult stop. I'm gonna get a T1 here. Oh no, no. Oh, why didn't you get to deny? Oh, that hurts. Efficiency.
That.
It was such a good deny. 2 catapults, it was on 10 HP, and nothing could stop them. Well, he's going Shadowblade next. I'd actually prefer if he goes for more tanky items on the DK.
That's his ult will confirm that DK is in fact alone. We'll hit TP for 25 seconds, but you can cancel Sam's TP and you will. As bottom lane, well, there's also Zeus that he can fight. He can keep both of them busy for a while, and the rest of his team's walking away at bottom, so certainly a reason to do so.
I think he just got his team around.
That's tier 3, isn't it?
It should be. There's Liquid Fire, you have a Morph.
You have a lot of damage being done to the Beastmaster with the Rupture, but now the Ultra coming in. Sure, well, there's a lot of damage being spread out, but eventually he'll die.
He has the Aegis. They have a Magnifier. This is a free T3.
That's what they came for. Again, paying a bit more than they maybe feel comfortable with. But they're still killing these objectives. They're still restricting the map control from the Spectre, who does have the Radiance now, though. The worst time in the world either, all things considered.
Yeah, T3, I mean, they did trade a lot of heroes for this, and this actually pulls the game back almost to equal level. But you still got a T3 on the map. That means you can take, you can get rid of these 2 shrines, which is highly important because you want to look down at Roche so the Spectre thing doesn't happen again the next time. I think they're still in a really good position, and Morph, I believe that is his Ghost Scepter coming flying out. Yeah, so he has the entire E-Blade up in 1,000 gold. If he manages to wait or just uses stuff before the when the Blade Mail hits, what you can do is on the Morph, you can destroy out the E-Blade or tank the damage from the Blade Mail with the E-Blade, destroy the Adaptive Strike, and if you're far enough away and you wait from doing that, you dodge all the Blade Mail damage. So you can pretty much ignore it.
The next level play, is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. Should we just replace you with the chat lines?
No.
I can spam them all day, I got all of them, don't worry.
I'd like to think that I'm a little bit more flexible than the chat lines.
Sometimes.
I'll take it. Alright, so,
oh, the panic about his own morphling.
I almost want to say that the Bloodseeker shouldn't even be the main target for morphing, should be the Warlock before he gets his spells off.
Yeah.
Fatal Bonds was certainly a big part of that last defense, these 2 quick kills. And it'll be even worse now, like, because it's the second part of the Spectre Warlock duo that makes it so good. It's not just the laning pace. It's also now where you have Fatal Bonds to somebody and then the Radiant Spectre doing damage to everybody. It's shared a bunch of times essentially. Oh, there it is. Oh, shot catches 3 different people here into the Macropire, into a couple more. Right click here, Zeus already bought back, and there's the Golem. Trying to turn this around. Burning Legion, not so tanky, still doing damage. Warlock is down. Arthur though, he's going ham with everyone. Dropping so low, so fast. And Haunter, once again, forced to strength mode TP out.
I don't want to flame, but how do you lose the fight without Cog?
Don't have BKBs.
Yeah, there's a Radiant Spectre. That should not have happened. They had such... That was pretty much the best initiation they will ever get in this game. like macro pyre into the entire into the cogs with the battery assault running, Morph just going over it.
Dire's middle tower.
But there was no damage to follow it up.
For the twins.
Alright, so Trash Talkers are smart. They'll fight again immediately though, once their ultimates are back up, because there's much longer timings on the other side of the map. Golem, not gonna be there for about 2 minutes. Spectre Horn, also, yeah, Spectre ultimate's 80 seconds.
E-Blade is up for Morph as well.
They need to go again right now.
Yeah, immediately. Just don't even wait for it. You have everything you want. You have the Dragon Form up and running, you have a Macro Pie, you have a Roar, you have a Hookshot. Just run down the mid line, do it right again on the second attempt.
Yeah. They're getting ready for it. Smoke on both Clockwork and Jakiro, using one of them.
There's a Blood
Start,
Seeker.
also pinging out bottom. Killing off the Spectre. Would be
That's
helpful,
the right move.
but nice Zeus ultimate.
They haven't pinged it yet. Yeah, but they know just Abaddon in the front. He's going for the Aghanims on the Abaddon. That's usually not an item you see rushed, but he has a lot of farm.
Yeah. Interesting solution to the Morphling, I think. Or anyone who gets Ward. I mean, you can always just push that off anyway, but get Morphling combos, shotgun to the face, you share some of the damage. That's enough to keep somebody alive.
Scanning at the Rage Pit, but Rage will still take a little bit. We're gonna see the respawn in 40 seconds. Just they had a smoke attempt. They had all the time. You said, yeah, go fight right away against them. I agreed, but then they go half-hearted against the Spectre at bottom. Didn't work out. Now they spread up again, and the Golem is up in 10 seconds.
They wasted their timing. That's what it comes down to. So if they take a fight now, either they take it a little bit smarter, which means getting a pick off on not the Zeus but the Warlock, who does not have buyback. Zeus brought back in the fight, which is also part of why he had so much damage to throw out very quickly. But yeah, either they get a good pick off beforehand, or they just lose the fight.
I feel like split pushing would work for them as well. Chill. Who's not chilling out? Relax, you're doing fine.
And he daggered into the trees.
Oh. Missed that one. But I feel like Spectre's on the wrong team. You know?
What? Why?
Come on, name joke. Really?
No.
It wasn't that bad.
saying Spectre is trash. Spectre's not trash.
Just trash talking. But yeah, Spectre up and running. Manta style will come out. Already has the recipe in the inventory, meaning 150 gold. Some quick maths. We have a Manta up and running, and Manta is pretty important for him as well because he needs to get rid of that E-Blade. He can't afford to get caught, and they're gonna make it go into Beastmaster here. Cancelled. Oh, no Beast Troll.
Gonna do some damage and instantly kill the Zeus. And that TP out though, ill-advised. Extra 400 gold for the Spectre too on these neck creeps.
True enough. It's set up at bottom, but it's pretty much nothing they can do without the Beastmaster. He had the Necrobook level 3. He has the Roar. He has the lockdown for the Spectre, but I know it feels like they're again wasting time. They took the Shrine out, but that's about it.
Yep.
Do we have a Silver Edge yet on the way? We do for the DK, but he's still 2,000 gold away from it. Checking net worth, like Spectre is slowly creeping up there. 1,000 more gold and we'll overtake the Bloodseeker, the Morphling.
That's what I was talking about. Once the Radiance comes online, the timer starts, much like an anti-mage Battle Fury. Spectre's farm is gonna skyrocket. And with that, the impact she has in the team right now with the Manta style. It's not just defensive utility, but also more damage to work with. And next up is the Heart. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense just to be super tanky. You're already level 20, so you get the plus 500 health. Once you're level 25, you have extra dispersion damage, which This is where I do like the decision to go for the Silver Edge on DK, because that's a solution to that. Just disable the passive altogether and try and burst the Spectre without killing your whole team. But he needs that. Already has the BKB, and BKB is also something that Morphling is going for. This is what they have to wait for now to be having a shot to take these 5-on-5 team fights, like they obviously want to.
Double damage.
Spectre almost killing off the Clockwork solo. Man. Still be an opportunity here if they have some TPs in. The Spectre is very much alone, and there it is. They need to find the roll, and there it is. Couple extra right clicks, follow control from Burning Legion. That is a good kill, but you already see. Both Carl and Desmond dropping down to half health just on base on this.
Still feels really bad only to get roughly 600 gold left this. Like the Zeus gave more gold, or almost more gold, to the Morph than they got for the Spectre kill.
Yeah.
But hey, it's 2 pickoffs for the pretty much nothing. Like they wasted the raw, but by the time he reaches the high end, it will be down into 20-second cooldown, meaning 1 wave and he has it, and they're going straight down the bottom lane. They should.
Yeah.
Still some dragon farm to work with. Has to blink take up in 4. I think he just blinks up the high ground, tries to make some light damage on the rocks.
I think they still get wiped the Spectre by his back unless they get the Warlock, but the Invis. Saving him from the stun just in time. And,
unfortunate.
They don't want to use Buyback the Spectre, but okay, maybe they do. BKB from Alpha here. They're gonna try and drop the gold on, and there it is. The fatal bonds for damage is there regardless. Everyone just trying to TP on out of there. Haunter and Burning Legion still hanging around, and Burst. A lot of right click.
No lightning bolt in sight, but they lost the Meteorites.
Yeah, got the Meteorites, Buyback and Spectre. This is still worth it. It's a war of attrition when it comes to buildings, and I'm not sure if that's still not sure if that's the right way to go, but they're doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
like, the strat is successful, I just don't know whether it's the right strat to win on the game in the end.
I think it can work out if they just hold on. I think it's fine dropping down one set of rags, maybe even 2, with this kind of lineup, because you now have the Aegis at your disposal. It's a little bit of a compensation. There's still Cheese in the pit going for the Abaddon, makes him tanky. But they still have 4 towers to claim. Like this part of the map is still completely under control, under the control of Trash. Morph in trouble. You don't have a TP this time. Get Suns up, but yeah, already morphing. Nothing he can do. We're going full strength.
This guy still has only 1 death and 12 kills, so let's not forget about the morphing. That guy is still quite the beast. Just haven't really seen it because these fights aren't really about the quick pickoffs into a snowball into a win of the fight. It's just way too much resilience on the lineup there from D9.
Yeah, try and take it slow. Zeus already on the run back home. Let's see if we see some sick hookshot plays. No way. Oh, 4 staff. Wow. Iceberg missed as well, and you no longer can cancel this. Yeah. Goodbye.
Do it with flair.
An attempt was made.
It was a good attempt, but that was some lucky 4 staff by Zeus. Perfect timing.
Alright. This game's still going on. Trash talkers still have a mountain to climb. And the mountain that gets bigger and bigger the longer the game goes on, which is the real issue here.
So which Dragon Knight is at bottom? Not sure if they want to make a move here. There's only the Dragon Knight. Silver is running out.
I don't think you can kill Spectre with Abba sitting right next to her. Not a thing.
But that sounds like a good idea, right? I'm sure it will work.
I just said that it really doesn't here. This is much easier. Look at this.
What would you say? How did Zeus kill a Morphling? But then no, wait, that's no Zeus.
It's always just a bit confusing.
Radiant are
An enemy spy. Easy D-ward. That's one fast-hitting Zeus.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
New shrine as well. T-Pad is still online though, so they cannot really feel too comfortable going high ground, especially not into an Aegis, into a Spectre who is pretty close to finishing hard as well. Maybe now is actually not the worst timing, just before that comes out, but I don't know. It's still gonna get out-sustained and out-damaged.
Yeah, I feel like if you charge, you have one attempt at making this high ground work. You pretty much have to split push. One side can be taken by the who forced the BKB and the Bloodseeker. That's an overreaction.
Just a bit, yeah.
The 10-second one,
now.
9-second one as well.
Oh, Spectre alone down bottom, not again! Burning Legion sees that no one else is there, the Rocket Flare. Let's get it out, he's still hanging, there's the break, there's the stun. Follow-up damage here, Macropie not coming out, they don't want it to use it.
Hard kill.
Spectre actually still staying alive for a while. Not for too much longer.
Round one.
Aegis down. Meanwhile, mid, look at what's happening here. The golden big drop, both of them bonded up. They get the tower, but now they have to get out. Well,
didn't BKB.
The silence here. Meanwhile, Spectre trying to survive here, and so far so good. Daggering across the tree line. Don't have enough control to kill him a second time, or do they? Burn Legion is there trying to finish it off, but he can't. Arthur is there with enough help at the right time.
Get the tower, get the Spectre ones, but at what cost? And yeah, you were saying it. So far so good. Bloodseeker coming in just from that mid-fight. Big mistake by the Morphling mid-fight. He did not use that BKB. If he just pressed that one button, he would have been absolutely fine. But
also don't... I mean... I guess the idea was for Trash Talkers that they're gonna rush to the aid of the Spectre so you can get the tower and the stuff in the meantime.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It must have been the idea, because otherwise you'd say, hey, yeah, if they have the entire team there, they were Spectre down much quicker. Especially with the Morphling.
But I like the idea. I like the idea they're going for split and... well, Bloodseeker. BKB up. That's a kill on the clockwork, but... I know they're gonna lose, like... They just lose... out of their 4 outer tires, they just already lost 2. They are about to lose another one bottom, at least slowly. Losing bottom not the best pushes here, but... Might even lose a high ground tire here, because Morphling 10 seconds, salting 1 buyback, and to fortify. Good enough.
Flip's still available, still holding on to Macropire, so it's not as easy as May's team. This very moment. But this is probably the last time the Trash Talkers can afford to make a play like that. I think this is what this shows. Because death times are getting longer. Eventually, BKB will be forced out. Eventually, there will be enough time for D9 to push across the map like they have done just now and just threaten more objectives.
Pistol Blade on the Bloodseeker up and running. That's the extra nice as well.
Spectre going for Skadi herself as Morphling just finished up